All right, let's talk about some of the Aetherspark information that was revealed yesterday. So we now know the 3 planes of Aether Drift. We learned that following a new revolution, Kaladesh has been renamed to Avishkar. It's a Hindi word that means invention. We also know that they're connected to a perpetually open omen path to Amonkhet, which is the second location of the race. And that the third location is Muruganda, which we don't have a lot of information about yet, but should make people who've been excited to visit Muruganda since Future Sight, of which I am one, very happy. The Ghirapur Grand Prix is the name of the race that we're going to be watching. And the Planeswalkers guide that they put up yesterday has a lot of information on the race and the history, namely that it was essentially founded by sort of a Cannonball Run-esque organization called the New Culture Collective. But it is now an official part of the new government, the Avishkar Assembly's attempts to solidify Avishkar as a center of trade culture in the multiverse. The prize is the Aetherspark, which is a spark that has been supercooled in an Aether solution and has the potential to make anyone a planeswalker. Because of the omen paths, the government doesn't consider it to be as important as they used to, and there's clearly some hidden secrets going on with this thing. The 10 teams were also revealed. Obviously, Avishkar has a team called the Aether Rangers. It is led by Pia Nalar and also Spitfire, a masked racer. Then there's the Champions of Amonkhet that is led by a undead Leonin from before Nicol Bolas corrupted the plane. His name is Zahar, but also by Basri Ket. The Cloudspire racing team is from Kylum, the Battle Bond plane. And they're led by a older team captain named Koladin, but they've also signed Chandra Nalar. Chandra wanted her best chance at winning this race, and because Cloudspire had won the first one the previous year, she signed with them. Presumably, she's after the Aetherspark to give it to Nissa. The Guidelight Voyagers are these little robot fellows who don't know how they got here and decided the race is a good way to iterate methods of traveling in order to hopefully get back to their home. They're led by a central intelligence called Mendicant Core. The Speed Demons are the Duskmorn racing team, although I don't think anyone involved knows exactly what that means. They're led by humans who are possessed by glitch ghosts and demons, including the team leader, Winter, who has loot from when he was kidnapped in the last Magic story. Winter is bound by the Speed Demon himself, which is a demon that is basically there to ensure that Winter doesn't try and escape. The Goblin Rocketeers ended up here after falling through an omen path. They follow the Boost God, all caps. They're led by a goblin named Redshift, as well as Doretti, who has become their patron during their time on Avishkar. The Alacrian Quick Beasts are from a new plane called Alacria, and they are a team. They are an intelligent animal partner, and they're like Paladin Knight Rider. The Speed Brood are from an untranslatably named plane. They have the ability to metamorphosize into these larger vehicle constructs. So, for instance, you see the big insect here with like pill bug-like wheels, and it is being driven by an insect who hasn't been transformed yet. They're led by Atchik, the Emerald Radian, who, for them, being transformed into the essence of speed, one of these vehicles, is like one of the highest honors they can aspire to. What's funny is they're also like really nice. That's laid out in here. They love to chat, even if neither party knows what the other is saying. The Keel Haulers are our shark folk. You may remember them start showing up around Outlaws of Thunder Junction. The Keel Haulers are led by Captain Howler. And they're pirates from some other world who have ended up stranded on Avishkar and have sort of taken over some of the coastal regions. They've also hired on Karizev and Ragavan. And then finally, we have the End Riders, who are a deep cut from the plane of Gastal. Gastal was a post-apocalyptic world that Urza encountered in a novel a long, long time ago. These are sort of our Mad Max analogs. They come from a world where all the resources are scarce except for gasoline, and then when they traveled through the Omen Paths, they quickly realized everything else is plentiful, but gasoline is basically unheard of, so they were in search of ways to continue fueling their vehicles. I want to point out one last thing. We do have a Kylum racing team, which is the setting of Battle Bond, but also the video game Spellslingers, which had a charismatic announcer homunculus that looked an awful lot like this guy. Here he is from the game. His name is Vin. We're supposed to get another Planeswalker's Guide soon, which should handle the rest of the non-race world building for Avishkar, Amonkhet, and Maraganda. I'll summarize that when that comes out, but check these out. This is full of so much great information. The world building here is so much fun. There's a lot of like serious socio-political, geopolitical stuff going on in the background of this sort of, on the face of it, campy race. And also just a note for those confused, the Aether Revolt was not overthrowing the consulate. Tezzeret had a coup on Kaladesh and had taken over the consulate. They ousted Tezzeret, and then Pia Nalar had joined the consuls in order to sort of be a voice for the renegades at the time. Obviously, that didn't last a long time, and after the Phyrexian invasion, a lot of the peoples who were part of the first Aether Revolt and new people were like, I don't think the consulate has the juice anymore, and they overthrew them and created the Avishkar Assembly. And that was in something called the Indigo Revolution, which was mostly bloodless because I think everyone was just tired at that point.